welcome everyone to SEO 201, How to Rank Higher on Google for Dentists Near Me. My name is Alexis Barrientos, and I'll be your presenter today. We'll be covering a few things today, of course, why search engine optimization is important and what it is, and then I'll be covering what off-site SEO is, and all of this will make a little bit more sense as I move along in the presentation. So let's talk about why SEO is important. If you were here last time, you know this. 500 plus websites are created each minute, and over 75% of clicks are from an organic listing. Those are the listings on Google that are not paid for, as like with AdWords. AdWords appear in search results as well, but they are paid for with advertising budget. And 85% of search results will not go past the first page of results. It's important to appear in the first page, of course, because people will likely just refine the result rather than going on to the second page. All right, so let's talk about what search engine or SEO is. Search engine optimization is the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website, so your dental website, for example, by ensuring that the website appears high in a list of organic or free results returned by a search engine. So like I mentioned before, anything that's in a map here or kind of below in these 10 listings here, that's considered organic. So it's comprised of a couple parts. The first part is the snack pack. So you can see the difference here. Anyone who is advertising locally has an ad next to it, and legally, you are supposed to be told when something is an ad, so they will have a little indicator here. But these are organic, meaning that nobody paid for these to appear in search results. And then it also includes the listings below. So these are what we call organic listings with the blue and green text with a snippet below it with gray text. Okay, so with SEO, it is made up of two components, on-site optimization and off-site optimization. Last time, I covered on-site optimization, which are things that you do directly on your website to improve your rankings. You can view that part of the series here by clicking on here when you get the slide deck. This time around, I will be covering off-site optimization, which is optimization outside of your website, which mainly includes any external links and business listings to your website and about your practice. Okay, so why is off-site optimization important? Google uses backlinks to understand the trustworthiness of or authority of your website. So off-site optimization really refers to gathering those backlinks. And you can think of a backlink as a reference in a job search. So Google verifies the information you're presenting on your site by understanding the websites that link back to you. So where do they come from? They can come from Chamber of Commerce, state and local associations, business listings like Yelp and Google Maps. So a little bit more information on backlinks. You can gain quality incoming links. So there is such a thing as a bad backlink. Those that are quality backlinks are those that are coming from the local Chamber of Commerce, the Better Business Bureau, any local schools that you might have participated in, any nonprofits. If you want any local contests, any directories, especially if you are like an adjunct professor for whatever reason at like an educational institution or university, if you can find a way to get a link from your profile, say for example on the university website to your practice website, then that's a really strong backlink that is going to have a lot of domain authority and a lot of authority with Google. Of course, you can always have links from reviews, case studies, or testimonials as well. And then probably the heavier load on local SEO, because that is the type of SEO that we are doing here, is it's going to be on local business listings. And what that refers to is any listings on these directories like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Health Grades, Dr. Google is a popular one. Any of the profiles about your practice on these directories are considered local business listings, right? And you need to have not only that available on the directory, but also have it be consistent with the information that's on your website about your practice. So Google it'll actually do is it'll give a lot more weight to how consistent your name, address, and phone number is across directories and your website. So in order to really get the best out of these directories, you'll have to have the exact same name on all of these directories, same address, same phone number. One way to do this is to claim your practices profiles in online directories. So sometimes when you like say you'll be Googling something, you'll see something on Google Maps. If you actually look through the listing and do this next time you're looking for a restaurant or if you're looking for any type of local business, look at the listing and at the bottom you should see something that says to the effect of, is this yours, or claim this listing. It's asking who this belongs to right at the bottom. If a listing is already claimed, it won't have that question on the actual maps listing. So what that means is Google is trying to verify who this listing belongs to. And the way that they do that is by first setting up a Google account. And then after that, they go through a verification process by sending an automated call to your business phone number, or at least the business phone number that it is on the listing, and it'll give you a PIN code that you can enter to verify. Or if all else fails, it'll give you a postcard. I believe now, though, the phone call transaction is a lot more popular and probably will default to that. So what it's doing is it's basically asking who this listing belongs to, and once it's verified the information, it's opening up that listing so that the business owner can then go in and correct any information that may not be correct and add as much information about the business as possible. Now, why does Google do that? They basically do it because they want to give users the best experience possible, right? So if a user sees a listing that has all of the information filled out, reviews, pictures, maybe some pictures of staff or what the business looks like or what the practice looks like on the inside for you, then they're more likely to trust that listing and they're more likely to trust directions to that business from Google Maps and will ask for directions there, right? So Google in that way provides a better user experience. And therefore, it's your responsibility as a business owner to claim that profile and provide as much data as possible, including name, phone number, address, services, any description of your business, of course, any photo or video that you have, and make sure that it is consistent not only on your Google profile, but on these directories and on your website, because Google will triangulate that information to make sure, just to verify where that business is located. So while backlinks from other websites are important in local SEO, this is probably one of the slightly more important because it just requires a little bit more information and it's specific to local businesses and local SEO, which is what Google is focused on. Okay, so I did mention adding video to your listings, and it's actually possible for not only yourself, but also people that are reviewing you to now add video to your Google Maps listing. And I wanted to give you some stats on why, Google might be going in this direction and why it's important to use video not only on your Google listing, but also on your website. So just some stats. If there's a video on your site's landing page from business listings, you're 53% more likely to show up on Google's first page. So just keep in mind that the video content is viewed more favorably when optimized correctly. You must ensure that your video, however, does not compromise the way your website loads and operates, which can increase bounce rate and hurt you. Um, and another stat is your search traffic can double if there's a video thumbnail in search results. So there are several studies that have shown that people are more drawn to moving components on the internet on a web page. So having a video thumbnail appear in search results will increase visibility and then will always help increase traffic. So if you have video on your listing or if you have a YouTube video on your YouTube channel, then it's likely to appear there. And then while only 20% of people will read the text on a page, 80% of them will watch a video. So if you have content on your website that is also explained through video, a lot like if you guys have seen BuzzFeed articles, they'll talk about a video, right? They'll break down in the article the text, but at the very end they'll include a link or they'll embed the video in the article so you can watch it yourself. the user experience on that is they'll likely scan the copy, but they'll click down and go to the video and just watch the video to just get the information right away rather than having to read. It's just the way people process information. So, that stat definitely holds true. So, what are some top offsite SEO mistakes to avoid? Again, I already mentioned inconsistent NAP, name, address, and phone number information, unclaimed and unoptimized listings. So if you have not claimed your listing, or if your listing on Google Maps asks who it belongs to, you have not claimed it. An unoptimized business listing just means that there is information missing, right? So that could include business hours, a description of your business, reviews, and basically anything that's just missing, any information that's missing. Of course, one of the biggest mistakes is not having any reviews. Um, Reviews are they're very a compelling way to get people to ask for directions to your practice. Having no photos or videos, and then having duplicate listings is also one of the bigger mistakes. I'd say this one is probably the more important one, aside from not having consistent NAP info. And I'll dive into that a little bit more on how these duplicate listings, what they are, and how they're created. And then, of course, the last one is not leveraging relationships for backlinks. So what I mean by this is there are a lot of opportunities as you're doing business as a dentist, right? You have speaking engagements, or if you have a referral practice that you like to go to or that you refer to, whatever it is, you have these business relationships, right? You can leverage those for backlinks. All you would have to say is, hey, I'm speaking at this university, or I'm speaking at this school, or I'm speaking at this elementary school to teach kids about brushing, right? Do you mind putting up on your event page a link back to my website so that people can learn about, so that parents can learn about me, or students can learn about me? It really is as easy as that. You can leverage your business relationships to just have a mention from whoever you're in a relationship with on their website, have a link back to your own. And that's one way to create backlinks, aside from, Chamber of Commerce and those directories that I already spoke about. Okay, so duplicate listings. I did want to spend a little extra time on this because I feel that they're very important. So what a duplicate listing is there are multiple listings within the same online directory with inconsistent business information or inconsistent NAP info. People and search engines depend on this information to find you. So there are occasions like where on Google you will see a lot of different listings for the same practice or the same address, and so those are considered duplicate. Um, so what this really does is it confuses your NAP info, your name, address, and phone number information. So Google doesn't know which listing to present, right? So if it's looking at, say, 3 listings that have almost the same information but not quite, there's maybe a difference in the phone number or the name isn't quite right, it's going to look at all 3 listings and not know which one to present to users. So it's just going to ignore all 3 because there's likely another practice nearby that does have consistent information, and in Google's eyes, well, they're just looking for a dentist. I'm going to give them the one that I think is most relevant, right? The one that seems to be more legitimate. So the listings or the practice with multiple listings, it's just confused. It's not going to present that information. So how does this happen, right? So some common scenarios that create duplicated listings. So what they don't understand is that with duplicated listings, these come from data centers and bots. They are not necessarily created by people. So data centers and bots go and crawl the internet, and then they take this information, they put it in a data center, and the data center spits it out to these local directories and says, here, we think this is a new business, right? It's artificial intelligence. It's not someone is actually looking at it. So whenever things change within the business, these bots think that there is potentially a new business, so it'll just create a new profile and spit it out, and then rely on you as a business owner to recognize whether or not that business listing should be claimed and cleaned up. So one way that this happens, or one way that this is exacerbated, is if your practice changes location, right? Because in this case, your address is your address is no longer current, right? So your old address in this case is still showing up on Google Maps. One way to fix this is to claim your old business listing using phone verification and then just edit the address within the dashboard. Again, once you claim your business listing, you have access to all of that information and you can edit it when necessary. You may need to go through the verification process over again, but at least you have access to that listing in order to make it as current as possible. Another scenario that can happen is if you have multiple doctors at one location. So what this can lead to is several business listings with the same address and phone number, but different names, right? Because they will likely, I'm sure you guys have seen this, you'll see a listing with the last name, comma, first name of the doctor, and then something, probably the practice name after the fact. But again, that's very likely just a data aggregator that found that information and just spit it out. So one way to fix this is to find all of the listings on Google Maps and submit a report for each listing, repeated listing that you find. So this one's a little hard and it's going to require a lot intimate knowledge of SEO to know where to make the right call, because technically you are allowed to have a Google listing for a doctor as a person, but then you have to do some finagling with the categories and descriptions and the pages that this listing points to. So if you can help, if you, the best practice or the best option here is to just close down all of the listings and just keep the one that's specifically for the practice. And ideally, that's also the one with all of the reviews. Okay. Another scenario that might cause a problem is if you buy a practice from another doctor, right? Because in that case, the listing information is inaccurate because it probably has the other doctor's information, especially, or the other doctor's name in particular. So when you buy a new practice or take over or acquire a new practice, don't set up a new listing. Do your best to work with the staff if they've already claimed that listing to take over it and just update the information. Or you can also, uh, if it's not claimed, you can try and claim it through the phone verification process. You are also, I believe there's a process to transfer a listing, but that one gets really technical and it's often requires you to contact Google. So that one can be, it's kind of a last resort solution. It's very convoluted. Google does not make it easy to contact them. One thing I do want to mention is if you guys would like to brave the waters and to clean this yourselves, you can find the full list of instructions here at the bottom. It's available on every slide here. This is a blog post that we've written, and so it'll show you step by step how to do everything, but this is only specific to Google. So if you have issues with Yelp or Bing or any other directories, then unfortunately we don't have that information. We just focused on Google because it's the, it's where everybody goes to create their searches, and Google relies on their own maps listing naturally to give out information. So we just focused on that one because it's a little bit more important than the other directories in terms of search results. Here we go. Okay, so I've already spoken to this a little bit, but there are some things you will need to consider when you're cleaning up duplicate listings. The first is how much time is available to you. Cleaning up listings in just one directory can actually take hours, and depending on the number of locations and duplicate listings that have appeared for your business, I've seen as many as 16 for one location. Each directory, it'll require some time to clean up and first, identify which ones you want to keep, which ones are the duplicated that you want to get rid of. You'll have to report those and you'll have to follow up to make sure that they have actually disappeared. And it just requires, quite a bit of time on your part, particularly for Google. It's necessary, you have to do it, but it's very time consuming. You'll also need to have, like I said, an intimate knowledge of SEO best practices, because there are, tips and tricks that you can do depending on the situation to have one listing be the primary one, to have one taken down. So it's a lot of unfortunately a lot more than I can go into in this presentation. So, you'll just have to be aware of what those best practices are so that you can take down the appropriate listings. It'll actually require some maintenance. Duplicate listings can actually appear at any point. The bulk of them can be taken care of at the beginning of an SEO campaign, but it is likely that they can appear after the fact if a doctor joins your practice or if you move locations or any of those scenarios that I mentioned before, you'll likely have issues with duplicate listings again. And then if you have multiple locations and multiple doctors, then your duplicate listings they can grow exponentially, and it can be kind of a very tangled web. Like I said, that example of 16 listings that I gave, it's not an exaggeration. The person had 3 locations and multiple doctors and specialists at their practice, so it was quite a project to untangle. So you will really need to understand how multiple location SEO for local SEO works in order to untangle these listings. Um, Okay, so all in all, with SEO, I just want to remind you, rankings do take a couple of months for improvement, partially because of the work that needs to go into it. If you're looking at both on-site and off-site SEO, cleaning up listings, especially if there are duplicate listings, takes some time to clean up. It also is, if you're looking at on-site, you have to write the content, do some keyword research, implement that. So it will take some time to grow for it to take effect. There are many variables that come into play, so SEO doesn't happen in a vacuum. You'll also have to take into consideration how competitive your market is. If there are a lot of competitors, then naturally it's going to be a lot harder to get on the first page of results. And ultimately with SEO, you have to define what your success looks like. It's easy to look at another website and think, oh, my website looks the same as so-and-so's. Why aren't I ranking? But there are a lot of factors that go on behind the scenes that could differentiate you and that other person that you're looking at. So ultimately, what you should be comparing to is where you start at the beginning of an SEO campaign, whether that means on page 5 or page 2, or even like bottom of page 1. And then see what results you get just by looking at your basic metrics for SEO and seeing what improvement you can make based on the changes that are going on with your strategy. So for example, if you are making change for doing keyword research and optimizing your content, then you would look at rankings for the specific keywords that you are targeting and see how those are changing, right? If you're hoping to get rankings in the snack pack, then you would first clean up your listings, make sure all of your NAP info is consistent, and then see if you've appeared in the snack pack. If not, then you probably need to make some optimizations either on the listings or maybe additional optimizations on your website. So it's more important to compare on a benchmark than it is to compare to other people because you won't have the whole story for other people. Um, okay, so just this is a little rundown of everything that kind of reviews the last part and this part as well. Just remember that SEO works gradually to elevate your position in search engine results. On-site and off-site work together, so you'll need to, those are the 2 components that you will need to work on in order to improve your SEO. And with off-site optimizations, that includes attracting links from other sites, which you can do by leveraging your business relationships and also by cleaning up your business listings and duplicate listings in particular. Okay, so that's most of the that I have to talk about. So if you have any questions about SEO or social media or really anything about dental marketing, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can visit us on our website for additional webinars like this and resources. And also if you have any questions, we have a little chat bot you can have and just quickly speak to somebody if you have a question you need taken care of. Or of course, don't hesitate to call. All right, so it looks like we have a couple of questions. Okay, so Google Maps. Okay, so we have a question from Stephanie, and she says, Google Maps shows the property next door. How do I correct it? And I think you may be, if you're talking about the little like bubble indicator, you can actually, once you claim your listing, drag it over your actual location. Google doesn't always get it right, but you can edit that on the actual map. If it's showing, if you're talking to, what is it, Street View, I don't think there's a whole lot that you can do with it, but I believe if you just move the indicator around, it may correct itself. So try doing that. But first, you'll need to claim your listing in order to do any sort of edits. Also, second question is someone posted a review for one of our associates on Google in her name, not in the practice name. How do I delete this review? Um, to my knowledge, I don't think there's a way to delete it. The only way to get reviews taken down on Google is by flagging them as inappropriate, but they will have to violate Google's guidelines. And I will say that's a very difficult road to take. Google rarely takes reviews down unless they're, blatantly violate their content guidelines. The only way to have them taken down is by contacting that person and having them remove their own review. Only the user themselves can delete the review. So, you'll have to weigh your options to see if it's worth it, or maybe you can respond to the review, but you can't necessarily delete the review. You could say, this is for this person. Thank you for your feedback, but want to clarify that this is for this person, not the practice. That's really all you can do, and that may be enough for users. Okay, I will hang tight to see if there are any other questions. Okay, looks like oh, there's a question if there is a link to the PDF for this first seminar. So let me actually show you where you can find this first one. If you go to, where was it? Okay, so slide 10. We should be able to just click on that. And it'll take you, oh, apologies, that is the wrong link. I will update this, but if it takes you, it'll take you here to our on-demand webinars, and you can find both the slide deck and the presentation. It'll all be here. Okay. Okay, looks like we have another question of, let's see, would I recommend a live chat service on the website? I think it can be helpful. It's definitely a way to engage with people, and a lot more people are more accustomed to now to reach out either by email or through live chat. Live chat is one way to, give potential patients instant gratification. So I do think it's a, a very useful tool if leveraged correctly on a website. Like I said, I mean, I'll give you guys an anecdote. My brother was asking about making a doctor's appointment. He's 20 years old, and he asked me if he couldn't contact people on through the website and through email. He asked, "What does he do?" And I told him, "Well, just call." And he wasn't very happy with that answer because he doesn't want to make a phone call. So I do think that in that case, an alternative like a live chat would have helped out. So yeah, I think it's a really good way to reach out to people that are just not accustomed to making phone calls anymore. Let's see, what tools do I suggest for keyword research? There are a lot of really great tools out there. Um, I mean, the standard one that's really easy to access that'll help for both PPC and SEO is AdWords Keyword Planner. So if you have a Google account, you should be able to access that. I believe Moz has a free version that you can use as well. So if you just search Moz keyword research, you should be have access to that. Don't believe you need to create an account in order to use that. Keyword.io is one, but that one's kind of hit and miss for me. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think those would be good. You should be able to use that should give you enough information. You can also maybe cross correlate with Google Trends. So if you find any keywords that you want to target, say through AdWords Keyword Planner, you can look on Google Trends to get an idea of how much that keyword has been researched on an index. It's not going to give you actual volume, but you can get a sense for how much that keyword is actually being searched. Okay, so I'll just hang on for just a couple more minutes if you guys have any additional questions. Oh, okay, that's a really good question. Kyle just asked, how do I check which keywords I am ranking for, and can I do that with the tools you just mentioned? Kind of. So the best way to check which keywords you're ranking for is actually through a tool called Google Search Console. So there's a couple of steps you'll need to take before you can use that tool. So what it is Google Search Console is Google's free tool to help you understand what impressions, clicks, and keyword and rankings, all of that for your particular website. And it'll show you kind of average ranking position without the personalization because Google does that as well. So what you can do is one way to do this is by adding Google Analytics if you don't already to your website. And I believe all ProSites website members have it. You just have to ask your member services rep for it, or you can have them help you add it to your website. It's just a quick chat and you can have that snippet of code added. So once you start tracking Google Analytics, that will also allow you to verify your profile on Google Search Console, which is a different dashboard. And that will actually tell you your ranking position, the impressions, so how often you're appearing for that keyword, which pages are appearing for that keyword, the clicks from that keyword, and it'll also tell you your click-through rate. So it's a really useful tool if you don't already, even if you're not doing an SEO campaign, I highly recommend that you just add it so you have an understanding of where you're ranking from a dashboard perspective. And the tools that I mentioned will more give you like general keyword volume, but won't be specific to how your website is doing. So you'll have to use other various tools like Keyword Planner and then compare it to the information in Search Console, which is the internal information for your website, just to understand where you might be standing. Okay, it looks like the questions have slowed down, so I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation here. Thank you all for joining this afternoon. Again, you will be receiving this slide deck and presentation within the next few business days, so you will be able to review. So thank you all for joining and have the great rest of your afternoon.